Hello viewers, it's Jordan here, back again with another video. Today we're going to go explore the Big Kmart down in the Dalles, Oregon. I don't exactly know the proper name for this property, however, I do know it contains a big Kmart, and as many people know, if you have not already watched the channel called Retail Archaeology, then you will probably not be aware that Kmart's probably been struggling for quite a while. And so I thought, while I'm down getting my grandma's car work done, we'd explore the Big Kmart and see how it's doing. Now, for those curious, the Big Kmart around here is actually not one of the worst Kmarts that are actually still open for retail. However, I do notice some signs of Kmart, at least at this location, struggling. So, before it closes, I thought we'd go take a look at not only the parking lot status, but also the exterior and interior bits. And we also might take a brief look in another video at the Payless Shoe Source, which is actually sitting right down there. But to keep from boring you, let's go ahead and get to the Big Kmart. Hello, just wanted to make a kind of post-edit sort of add-in here about the footage. I know I'm probably going to reference this later in my narration, but I just thought I'd let you know that there were a lot of service representatives inside the store, and so trying to film inside the store was quite a challenge, and so I just thought I would let everybody know that, yes, I did get a lot of footage, or at least footage that I thought was satisfactory, but I just thought that, just thought I'd let you know that if you didn't get to see everything that you'd like to have seen, then just know the service reps kind of ruined it for me. Anyways, on to the video. See, the sign is rather faded throughout the years. You can definitely tell the paint's kind of faded. Not rusted though. Maybe on the side. Here we are approaching the parking lot. Guess they must have chopped down the tree here at the KFC or something. Doing an entire facelift of this location. Good food. So, it looks like they're doing a good facelift there. And of course, every Kmart's got a proper JDM status. Mazda MX-5 Miata Classic. Nice. So as you can see, the parking lot's not too bad in terms of status. There's at least a few customers here. You can certainly see. But it should be a little more full, you'd think. Although, considering the time of day, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, all things considered. People are probably working today on a Friday. But still, I would expect to see more customers here than what there is right now. So, just kind of tells you the status of Kmart in its current position. As you can see, before we take a look at the exterior of the store, you can see the shopping cart return area is not exactly as filled up as it might be. Neither is it down there. You can see that there's actually updated branding on the cart returns, but no carts, so looks like all the carts are indeed inside the store still, which is not a good sign. Well, it is and it isn't. You can see this still has the older style, Big Kmart style of signage on the exterior. This never really did have a garden center, however it does still happen to have this stuff here. As you can see, a few plants out for sale. You can certainly see. Some perennials are out. Not too bad looking. Alright, so as you can see, we are in the clothing section of the store, the men's clothing section, and yeah, there's a lot of stock in here, definitely, for sure there's a lot of stock, but I'm trying to avoid the sales rep as he's sitting there in the jeans section. But one thing that is apparent, at least from me at this angle, no customers anywhere, and really, really tight store shelving. Here you can see this is some of the fishing stuff, and there's definitely some empty shelves in here. Especially towards the back where those ice chests are, there's some empty shelving there. Not completely empty, but you can see there's quite a bit that's not on the shelf, and including that aisle as well there. Oh yeah, that's that music though, that's inside the background. Here you can see there's just random boxes underneath that are there, and that's completely empty. And I'm trying to avoid store reps once again, so there's a lot of jump cuts, but as you can clearly see, there's a lot of boxes out on these shelves. There's really not a lot of merchandise that's just out, you know, like assembled and anything. This is boxes there, so clearly something of a lazy chore that some of these reps are doing. And here you can see I'm trying to avoid the store reps here as I'm panning through the shelving over here by the laundry section apparently. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of customers. It was mostly store reps, which is really strange. I know I keep referencing them, but you know, but as we look through these shelves, you can see, yeah, this aisle is certainly not what it used to be. That's for sure. Not sure why there's a random Gatorade and a scale there. Well, whatever. Definitely. Anyway. See some missing stuff there on the shelf. Lots of customer reps and employees out, so I'm trying to film as much as I can. It's not easy though. Certainly was not easy, but I managed to make it on through. But yeah, you can clearly see. Now this is what used to be the electronics section, but as you can clearly see, it's basically changed into some kind of like patio stuff, but obviously empty shelving and some kind of funny comment over the intercom. Nice. I don't see why you would need anybody in the electronics section. There's nothing here, but anyway. Here you can see a thing from Sears Holdings. Not sure if they own this place or what, but I'm really not sure if that's some kind of like employees only area. I'm assuming it is, but more empty shelves, lots of empty racks. There's a few things, but really not a lot compared to what it used to be, at least. I mean, yeah, Sandbox, cool. The toy section, well, other than that section, the toy section was actually fairly well stocked, and I guess stuff's pretty much up to date, although a lot of it I would assume would just be for kids, and there's another empty shelf there, which is unsurprising. I guess there's nothing on these end shelves, which there's something there, but I didn't get the rest of the shelves very well because I was just trying to pan as quickly as I could, try and get through the shelf as quickly as I could, because of course, you know, sales reps.
Celeste, to your register, please. Celeste, to your register.
The sewing machine selection. Not much anymore. Lots of empty shelves. I had to go use the restroom, but here you can see the empty layaway section. Of course, there would probably be somebody there if it weren't for the fact that, of course, there's probably not a lot of employees here. There's probably understaffing, but you can see. Empty shelves as far as the eye can see. Yeah, there should be some stuff there on that end shelf, but there isn't. And, yeah. So let's go someplace else here. Let's see. Swimming pools. Cool. Dope. I want one of them. Yeah, this section I had to come back to because, of course, it's very disappointing. Especially the electronics section. There's nothing there. Really, there's nothing there. At this point, I hid my phone because I didn't want to be caught. Another sales rep of all things, and I had to rush across the section here to get to the aisle. Basically, just all adapters, prepaid devices.
This TV can upgrade lower quality content and therefore the revolutionary upscaling picture.
Basically, off-brand and maybe one name brand here for TVs. Freaking store rep, I tell you. $5 movies. $2.99 and up. Yeah, good deal. There's basically nothing here for electronics. I think since the last time I've been here, it's even gotten worse. Basically just car adapters, USB things. Doesn't even look like they're selling tablets anymore. And then sales rep. Frig's sake. Sorry, service rep. So this looks like some kind of office supply section. It's got all sorts of things, and at the same time I'm trying to walk to avoid being seen, which is a pretty decent strategy because we were walking opposite directions, and you can see we're trying to transitioning into some health and whatnot and some other things. And here's another sore site you'll see here pretty quick. Pharmacy is closed. Still have the free blood pressure machine still up and running, which is something interesting. Somebody actually did their blood pressure on that. That's interesting. Don't know how much longer that's going to be there though, considering it's all taped off. But the pharmacy has indeed... Oops. There's a completely empty shelf right over here. And as we walk up to it, you can see there's another shot of the pharmacy that has been closed since the 5th of July of 2017. You can see it's all boarded up there, and you basically have to go to the local Safeway to get your pharmacy, which is kind of a good and bad thing, I guess, for Kmart. Not really sure. More empty shelves. A lot less inventory here than there used to be. Now, one thing that was interesting is up here behind where those gift cards were, there was actually some sales reps actually building shelving, so I had to turn the camera off. You can tell there's not a lot of lights on in this row. Those used to be on. It's also very warm in here. There's no AC on. Also, there used to be a bunch of watches inside the center stack. They've been moved over to here and there's not as big of a selection. There's another row of lighting. Looks like every offset row has been turned off to save power because they don't have enough to keep all the lighting on in the store. Clothing's looking pretty tight too, although some styles are kind of iffy. Now while I speak here, pay attention to the girls apparel panel there off to your top right here in a second. There, but that closed a long time ago. That closed back in the 2000s. Now it's just the clothing section once again with a big old Kmart logo over there. It's never been like a Little Caesars or anything. At least here it's never been Little Caesars. It just closed before any kind of transition. Thank you for shopping Big Kmart, and I wish those words were ever more true, because of course this Kmart might not last that much longer. This next clip is a portrait, I'm sorry, but you can see they are talking about blue light specials coming back. There's an exterior shot of the Kmart here. As you can see, they got some bags of mulch out that have just been sitting in the sun, and it looks like a couple vending machines, but who knows if they're filled up with anything or if they're even on. They sound like they're on, but I last tried to use one and it just wouldn't work. Wouldn't accept my dollar. So who knows what's wrong with it. So this was a look at the Big Kmart in the Dalles, Oregon. Hope you guys found this actually kind of informative, and hopefully the footage wasn't too messy because of course there were a lot of service representatives out. And I'd probably suggest that if you have a Kmart near you, definitely go check it out before Kmart starts closing more stores. This seems to be one of the more profitable locations for Kmart because there's only a few shopping areas around here, you know, in the entire city. So Kmart's still holding on by a thread down here at least, and the store is not as bad as I was expecting it to be, but their store is most certainly on a state of decline. No doubt about that it's on a state of decline. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, see you guys later.